Coming to you from Second Floor Studios in Dallas, Texas, welcome to Dean and Jeff, a special edition of the Small Business Living It podcast. Two friends, two perspectives, one conversation worth having.
I don't know. We're not going to call this small business. We're going to call this Dean and Jeff today, with an assist from Wes, of course. Yeah. So last podcast or last episode, whatever we're going to call it, that Wes and I did, we talked about learning. And there's something you heard, whether it be tone, content, that inspired you to have a conversation. And that really, I'm honored by that, quite frankly. And of course I am. But I'd love to know, kind of like, welcome Jeff Fritts to Second Floor Studios. Every time we do one of these, it looks different. So like Wes says, we have this dynamic studio. Now we're on video. So welcome to Second Floor Studios, Jeff Fritts.
Thank you, Dean. And great to be with you also, Wes.
Thank you for coming. And Dad, thank you for the intro. You know, we like to have the modular. You know, we like to have options here at Second Floor, but sorry.
Okay, you bet. So tell us what the spark is here.
Part of what I heard when I listened, I think it was a little over an hour, was just a great conversation between a father and a son, and particularly around how learning occurs and how you understand Wes's learning had occurred and continues.
Right.
And continues is probably the watchword. And I get the sense that Wes is continuing in a very curious way to uncover more and more and more in an extremely motivated way, the ins and outs of what his business opportunities are, and feels pretty good about his education. And it started me thinking about how the educational system is working these days, and the disadvantage of a lot of young men who we all agree forever, and certainly for you and me, we lived in such a privileged environment. I mean, when we got into the business world, it was kind of like,
did you say the Northeast or you're Mid-Atlantic? What are we going to call it?
I started in Baltimore,
right?
But when I figured out that I wanted to be into commercial real estate, I had choices. I could go to Wisconsin, Indiana, or Ohio State, and Ohio and Columbus, and chose Ohio State from Baltimore. So that's how I started, and it turned out that the education was actually quite good, and it didn't just end at, well, now I have a degree in real estate and urban economics. I had the guy who was running the department at Ohio State, the real estate department, telling me, he was my advisor, and he's going, for you to really, if your interest is to become very experienced and capable in the area of commercial income producing real estate, you need to go to the Equitable. And you could have gone to Prudential or New York.
Was your undergraduate degree?
That was the undergraduate. Okay. That's all I had.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
but yes. So yeah,
and so it was funny. I had an opportunity to interview with the Equitable, but it turned out that it was in 1973, and we were in a depression. Real estate was, and
seems like.
We're always
every couple of years.
Yeah.
It's like,
here it goes.
Tides in, tides out.
There it goes. And I met this first fellow that I really had the interview with was a guy named Richard Lodge.
Okay.
He was an MAI who wrote a book.
Is this in New York now? Are you in New York?
No, I'm not in New York.
Okay.
This is in Columbus, Ohio,
Oh,
because I have
okay.
gone from, my apartment to their offices. There was a division office in Columbus. And he came in. He was from St. Louis. That's where he operated in a regional job. And he, for whatever reason, I'm excited to meet this guy. He's well known. And I speak to him from kind of a heart level, but I'm very, very interested in how remarkable his career has been. Anyway, he just thinks the world of this conversation. And he goes, we're not going to be hiring for a while. It's a shutdown, but it's probably a 3-month thing. If you could go pump gas. and I'd said, whatever it takes, I'm going to work for the Equitable, because that's what Ron Raxter, my advisor, said that would be the best to do. Anyway, but the point of this is just to say, I had to wait several months before they would hire, but they were clear. This guy, Dick Lodge, he said, you're terrific for this work. And they had a 2-year on-the-job training program.
Amazing. Yes.
And I mean, it was leasing and legal and construction and financial analysis and lending and just all the fundamentals of income-producing real estate. And so it was easy. And it was like staying in college. And now I'm super motivated. So I sort of ace it. I just do really well with it. And when I finish in 75, I'm going, I love this.
Wow.
I love
Really
the fact
cool.
that I'm with a big real estate company that's housed in a life insurance company, and they take all the money that they are generating, including the pension fund money, and they put it back into real estate. And so the opportunities were all over the place. Anyway, I'm thinking about what I hear today. And Karen was telling me, Karen's my wife, she was meeting with a couple of friends from a book club that have 20-year-olds.
Okay.
And they're trying to find work. They're very well educated, out of college.
Yes.
They were fed the idea that you get your degree. And
would you say they're ready?
I don't really know the guys.
Okay.
I don't know the guys.
They're males?
They're males.
Okay.
And Karen tells me that they may have had a kind of a helicopter upbringing, or a little bit too much hovering.
Sure.
Anyway, it's harder for them to know that they are able to follow their own best intuition.
Okay.
And so there's the easy answer as to what's kind of fouling it all up is artificial intelligence.
Understand. Yeah.
It's like that's the excuse that almost anybody can use.
Job. I lost my job. There's not enough jobs. There's fewer jobs.
That's right.
So can I challenge that a little bit?
Oh, sure.
So I love always talking to you. By the way, Jeff and I and Karen have had conversations in hot tubs, on ski slopes, golf courses, and in churches, in the men's circle.
Dad, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I understand that you meet in a lot of places, but hot tub seems to be the number one. Is there a reason why?
It's because it's where you're most relaxed and
Okay.
your brain works great.
Okay, no.
Always clothed, always with a swimsuit.
Oh no, I got
socially distanced.
Yeah. Okay. I was just asking. Just had
All right, sorry.
All right. Sorry about that.
Thank you for clearing that
Yeah,
up.
we just had to clarify.
Appreciate
Anyway.
that. But there were some there was a point in time where Jeff and Karen lived by the lake and had this amazing pool and backyard, and it was very conducive to what I would call really meaningful and good conversations. But so what I think, because I think you and I share, we went from, grit was our superpower. Like, it's kind of like if working in a gas station is like, yeah, I could do that because I probably did that. Or in high school, or had a paper route, or whatever it is that I needed. And I was hungry when I got to college. And then whatever opportunities, it's like I'd run through a wall. So the grit propels you. You take advantage of the education. So now you've got the combination of knowledge and grit. And what I think happens sometimes is that the grit doesn't come. I mean, if you're a kid that grows up and whose parents helicoptered were doing well, the grit is lacking, but the education's there. So when you get out of undergrad and you don't know how to grind yet, well, when we kind of like we get out, it's like grinding is what life is about. At least that's the way I looked at. Like, I'm just going to keep trying, right? And if someone gives me an opportunity, I'm not going to mess it up. I'm not saying necessarily that they're lazy. I just don't think they know how to grind. And what I do believe about the educational system right now is that if you go to a very prominent university and go through the MBA program, you won't last unless you grind. And the kids that come out of Macombs, Cox, all the ones that I see here, because we have interns, and the guys that have been through, Adam has been through the MBA program, Dodge has been through the MBA program. Somehow, particularly if they're adults there's another echelon. There's a guy that's married with kids that has a job. So now he has to manage a family, manage a job, and manage a degree. That has to come with, that has to build resilience or have resilience built in. So I think when you achieve all that, a lot of those obstacles go away. And I think part of, when we're going to talk about what are the obstacles to success, sometimes we're not aware of, we think we go to school and we get a degree and it's automatic. Like it's the ticket.
Right.
And I think there's something more there that you and I might have had. And the kids that are, let's just call Hispanic kids coming up who are first generation college and stuff like that. I mean, in some ways we have an advantage, in my opinion.
Yeah. So the grit makes total sense to me. And so the thing that I guess I was thinking about has to do with what stage are you in? So the fellas that you mentioned, I think were well launched before we started introducing all of the technology into schools. And I think that a lot of what is going on is that it is so easy with technology to try and not do the work.
Sure. Skate
is a great word. To skate through that. That grit is harder to find, and indeed, I think that there is a lot to say about how fearful parents are around letting their kids, and this doesn't matter whether you're a male, female, they're hovering. they're so protective because, we're bombarded with all the stuff that makes the news. It's just scary stuff. And so the childhood that you had, that I had, isn't available today. And it's been deteriorating for my whole lifetime. I've watched now, I'm concerned that kids have everything kind of have everything arranged for them. And they literally don't get to make many choices about it. I mean, they can bellyache about, I really don't want to take piano lessons. Okay. Or all I want to do is play soccer. Well, no, I really want you to do some dance or something. And it's as though play dates are commonly arranged by the parents, and there's the requirement that a parent or a nanny be involved all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, constantly. And kids don't get a chance to just go out and kind of stay
punched in the nose on the playground.
Yeah, and stay out until it's dark.
Yeah.
And then just get called back.
Yeah.
Okay, come on. Here's the bell goes off.
Whatever the jungle out there produces,
right,
that we never even heard about as parents, or our parents never heard about from us.
And so, well, here's the other thing. I don't think at the pace of life, because things do continue to seem to speed up, that this is going away. I think that what's a serious problem is that we are going further and further into controlling as a parent, and they're exhausted.
Okay.
And in exhaustion, when is the common sense conversation? When do you really have time to help your kids understand that there's so many ways to know that you're important, to feel as though you're connected, and not to feel alone, or not to completely depend on what somebody says is a like on your social media, and then be disappointed when there isn't. And
how do you think a kid today? Well, first of all, I have one real quick. What do you think the opposite of empowerment? Because as I hang around teenagers and even young adults, to me, the best gift I think we can give them is to empower them to make decisions, to push through, to be resilient, whatever it is that gives them that energy or that boost or that confidence to make decisions, as opposed to, what should I do, Mom? Or I'll wait for my mom before I answer that question. Or I'm being a little facetious, but if it kind of feels like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, what have they been other than empowered? Have they just been?
They have been managed. Okay. And
to the point where they have no real identity. That's the other word I was coming with.
Well, that's an interesting way to look at it. Certainly, to empower a person is to figure out at the earliest possible point, whether you're a mentor or a parent, what can I comfortably let this person make a choice about, and let them succeed or fail and clean up their mess. At what stage? And the earlier, I'm kind of in the sense that I have, is that the earlier that we let them have those choices and let them know that it's them that they depend on. It's not anyone else. It's like, oh, I forgot my homework. Oh, honey, don't worry. I'll bring it over to the school. No, the kid forgot the homework. That's too bad. If that means that you don't get a good grade, then for that piece of work, you don't get a good grade. And so it starts at the earliest possible point that you can let a young mind know that whatever that choice is, there are consequences, and those consequences have to be dealt with, with your own volition. You are responsible for your life. You're responsible for your thoughts.
Sure.
And so, what if you aren't? What if you can't figure out that you're responsible for your thoughts? The only thoughts then that run in your head are the indoctrinated thoughts.
Okay. Interesting. Yes.
And when that happens, ego is based on fear. It's all the things that we want to avoid. It's all the things that we want to be protected against.
Mm-hmm.
And so then you start this cycle of creating a lot of, judgment, dark imaginings, fear, negativity, all the things that the ego,
anxiety,
yeah,
it's a big one.
Greed,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
They have comparison constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And when you live that way and you think that way, it's really easy to just stay in a place where the internal conversation is such that you don't really ever feel good.
Mm-hmm. You think that you use a great word here, because indoctrination kind of triggers a thought in my mind that people think solutions to this issue that we're speaking of, I'll just say empowering kids, establishing identity, their own identities, esteeming them, however that comes about. Some people, I think, in society now think that traditional family structures, returning to those traditional family structures, will fix that. But when you said the word indoctrination, what occurred to me is that those traditional structures tend to be of doctrine to some extent. It feels more like military training to me. It's like, these are the absolutes. I think that the healthy parenting comes from expand your mind. There's a lot of things to think about. Let's talk about it. To me, it's like, where is the answer here? I think the parents lack identity is what's happening.
The parents are exhausted. I mean,
Okay.
We're running at such a pace.
Okay, that's a really good.
And parents, most of the time,
Mm-hmm.
of course, all kinds of exceptions, do not teach children to be still, to be quiet,
mm-hmm.
and to have some inner guidance, because we're running all the time and there's so many distractions. Those distractions lead to no real stillness, no ability to watch your thoughts. And so the thoughts seem real, and we exercise our bodies with these thoughts. So, like, you can have a fearful thought, and we're not in the jungle anymore. I mean, there's no tiger after us.
Right.
But the body doesn't know that. And so a thought of dread, or like, I'm not going to have enough, or I'm not enough, all those kinds of things, they are resoundingly tough on our bodies. Our bodies are so exercised that one of the most difficult ailments that people in their 50s are dealing with, their adrenal glands are already worn out.
Wow.
It's just remarkable. Yeah, it's remarkable. So, but
I need
but
more stimulation to be stimulated.
Yeah, right. But back to the empowerment. I mean, it's so important that we somehow impart the right, and it's a rite of passage that a young person should be able to find their own truth.
Yes.
Okay, well, I don't know why it's so wonderful that every Catholic thinks that kids have to be Catholic. And or any of the faith traditions. And hey, the faith traditions, when they work for someone, that's fabulous. But you must find your own truth. And a kid that is just sitting there accepting all of the dogma that they have been fed, let's call that the indoctrination.
That's the doctrine I was speaking of. It's like, let's go back to traditional values and let's feed them the doctrine or the dogma. And we'll program them a certain way. So they'll be controlled, they'll be behaved, good citizens, whatever they'll be, as opposed to in curing cancer. Maybe, I don't know. It's like free thinking has to go with the indoctrination, but I would say, so this is a real tricky one for me, because I would say that identity a lot of times is born in church, in my mind. I mean,
what does born?
It means that if you're 8, you get your first communion.
Yeah.
Right. So you've been through some element of, and it comes with community. It comes with learning. It comes with, what do we say? Serve, pray, meditate, serve, celebrate, educate. Those are the 5 things you do at church.
Yeah.
At some point a person emerges, and in religious practice, you have a bar mitzvah at 13. You have, confirmation?
Confirmation. It's first Eucharist, then confirmation.
Coming of age, if you will.
All of it.
Right? So that coming of age has something to do with establishing an identity through a process of maybe exploration or maybe indoctrination. I would hope that we might be able to call that exploration, because it needs to be augmented or guided at home as well. Right? So you're in church.
Absolutely.
Wednesday afternoon, is that CCD in Catholic churches? Did you go to CCD on Wednesday or whatever, after school? All my friends are like, where are they? Oh, they're at CCD. The kids in New York went to Hebrew school.
Right.
I think they went on Saturday. But that was some rigorous stuff that they went through. So I think if I take Judaism and I take a bar mitzvah, and do you think that a kid that goes all the way, male or female, through that process has a shot at really understanding who they are, both intellectually for the challenge, but spiritually for that experience?
The difficult part for me to answer is that I don't actually have that experience.
Okay.
But the experience that I do have, kind of as an observer, I've been on the planet 75 years, and I'm thinking that what I observe the most is, again, that the conversations that happen around dinner tables are lacking.
Yeah.
And there are some that are fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this difference between free thinking and, radically indoctrinated.
I love the word.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that. There is definitely, keep going. Sorry. Yeah, no.
So in the free thinking, there's this potential for a person to become a critical thinker.
Mm-hmm.
And critical thinking requires that we actually have turned on the curiosity, and that the curiosity is maybe it's aided and abetted by this grit that you were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that we've gotten maybe to a place where it's become too easy to just be entertained constantly.
Sure.
And so there's not enough curiosity to in a familiar setting where things are done for you so much, like you're fully programmed.
Sure.
That you don't have a curiosity to do much reading. Maybe it's all about being approved or feeling as though people like you.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's the way that you measure your worth. I really
do you identify this issue in what you might call a segment or a large segment of society? Like, is it like if you're poor and you're in an immigrant family, you're in a privileged family that's been around multi-generation wealth? I mean, it feels to me like there's different cultural influences maybe on
absolutely
family.
Yeah.
And the thing that I keep wrestling with, honestly, is what does traditional versus, how do you reconstruct the dinner table or a culture at home that promotes both free thinking and some element of structure, safety, curiosity, all those types of things. I mean, do you demand that the kids come to the dinner table? Do you create those traditions, but manage
the question?
Yeah, manage the conversation.
I think it's a fabulous question because truly it is where almost all of the relationships were built.
Yeah.
Of course, So the dinner table is really important. And you can imagine with two incomes and the pace of just trying to keep up, that those meals, they're not communal. Everybody's kind of to their own devices.
Sure.
And it's a whole nother subject to what we eat. And a lot of it's junk. And, but what would I say? I
you have daughters that have families.
Yes.
And you observe, and we don't need to name names, but they're very smart and thoughtful people, and they have incredible parenting or guidance, mentoring as a parent. How do you see them doing with their next generation?
I think that to a large part, they really have benefited from having a great deal of freedom and having the watchword that they needed to find their own truth.
Great.
And I know that I didn't have the foresight or wisdom to teach that from the very beginning.
Understand. Yes.
But once I got clear that a lot of what I knew was not particularly valuable and what I was imparting was full of it, because it was just, it was mostly stuff that I had been fed and I hadn't questioned.
Right.
And so once I think, is an interesting problem.
Scrape the peas off the plate. Sorry, they're really not good for you.
Yeah.
Although,
one of my thoughts about when it is that a person can actually start to actually know themselves, they need to hit a wall. I mean, of some sort.
They're 40 days in the desert, so to speak. Yeah.
And you have some kind of life transition, some super disappointment, a divorce, a bankruptcy, a loss of job, a super big embarrassment, whatever it is. There's all sorts of stories, right? Everyone's so unique, and we're all so messy that there's a zillion different ways in which you hit the wall. But the question it becomes then, when do you start to trust yourself and start to manage your thoughts in a way that it gives you a chance to actually build consciousness and not just go along and all kinds of platitudes and never really very honest.
Sure.
Which, is become a national
performative
epidemic.
Is a good word for today's society.
It really is. And but you can overcome some of that with good friends and good friends are probably where most of us actually find our balance. Just, we don't need many, but we need to have a good friend that we can bounce things off of. And you wish that it could happen earlier. That's why we were talking about the dinner table and parenting. I really don't have a great deal of cheerful expectation that rebounds.
Okay.
But I do think that the earlier that an individual hits a wall, almost the better.
Sure. Yeah.
Almost the better.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
I'm not masochistic here, or no, that would be sadistic. I don't want people to go through difficult times, but that's the point at which they're really motivated to shift and change. Is like you start to choose, who am I really, and what matters to me, and what kind of faith do I have in anything, and can I manage my thoughts, and can I get to a place where I know that there's something larger than me, or more important, that I'm a part of, and that the work that I do is important, and regardless of what the work is, whatever it is that you contribute is important.
So this is fun because I think about this a lot. I believe that all the things that you mentioned in terms of, a connection to a higher power, all those elements are the scaffolding to identity, and that a established, strong identity is something that gives you the resilience. You have to, if you don't have one, when you hit the wall, when you lose the job,
right,
you're going to get one or you're going to fail again, right? That's where the recovery or growth or whatever, like those like, oh, I know what I have to do now. I have to do the work. I have to redesign my identity with these elements of scaffolding and, friends, community, spiritual quietness, curiosity, all those things to rebuild who I am.
Right.
And once I really establish who I am in my own mind, then I can somehow filter the bullshit, even in my own head. Right. I think that's where you're coming from. It's like, oh, I suck. It's like, I really don't. I really don't. Right. Let me take score. Oh, I got through college. I paid. I worked 40 hours. I made it in 4 years. I didn't get a job out of college, so I went and waited tables, and I moved to New York, and I ate ramen noodles and all that kind of stuff. It's like, I don't suck. There's some luck involved in that, and whether it's the economy or otherwise, but I think you need to stand. If we can build children, or we can help children build themselves into knowing who they are, right? And I think at the essence, we said in unity, and we say at the Unitarian Church, is that we're made from original blessing, right? So what are we trying to claim when we hit the wall? Is we're trying to kind of like reclaim that original blessing. It's not that we're doomed or the devil's coming to get us. I mean, we can metaphor that one away in and out all day long because there is a devil. It's that shit in your head that's telling you suck. In my mind, that's the manifestation of what people might call the devil. But I got off on that. But I really believe that we're trying to build these young people. And I love your thing. I mean, there's plenty of us that hit the wall. So my identity was, I was a young, gritty kid who made money early, but I really didn't know how to manage family. I had no context I grew up in a watch out household. That's how my parents, they were there. I had food and shelter. I was well provided for. I got a good education. But the talk around dinner table was watch out. So it's like, it's dangerous out there, or you can't work on Wall Street. Well, it's like lower the bar a little there, dude. And I'm like, really? But I believe that in limitation. I don't believe that anymore. We've been through this growth. And I mean, what have you learned about your own identity through what you might call, what brought it on? What brought growth on in you? Was it?
Well, there's a very interesting long period of just having things work out.
Mm-hmm.
Everything.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, it was just all working out. And
by the way, I'm there right now.
Yeah.
I'm just entering it.
I think that's great.
Right.
And
so tell me what happens, Jeff. It keeps going.
No, well, it's a very personal sort of set of things that happened that caused me to have to make a choice to go toward kind of a level of morality, a level of light versus grief and darkness and blame, victimhood.
Mm-hmm.
And those are really states of consciousness.
I'm learning.
They are clearly states of consciousness. And it's not easy for a lot of people to break out of that first level of consciousness, which is just victimhood.
Yes.
It's like he, she, it, the boss, my parents, my grandparents, somebody did me wrong, and all my genes, whatever. It's always been kind of hard for me to ever do anything. Life is very difficult, and so victimhood is it's followed by a level of independence, which is on me. It's on me. I can do it. And the I can do it piece is where you're kind of the independent, the weight of the world, but you still know that you have the energy to go through a wall.
Yeah.
And so you just keep going, and it's amazing. But when you reach these points of levels of success, it still doesn't really satisfy.
I get it.
And the reason I guess it doesn't satisfy is because, some people would say that the ladder that you climbed was on the wrong wall. But it has something to do with not really appreciating how everything is based on collaboration. I mean, the greatest skill of Homo sapiens is cooperation.
Okay.
Ultimately, according to an interesting anthropologist, that's our greatest skill. Literally, we cooperate. And through cooperation, we learn humility a little bit. It's the beginning of it. And it's also the beginning of knowing that this thing that we're doing on our own isn't really on our own.
Yeah.
And that we are aided and abetted by an enormous other group and people that care about us, want us to do well. And when we let that in, and when we accept it, and start to allow for others to be a part of our success and to celebrate theirs, all of a sudden it becomes much easier.
Feels that way. Really does.
It really feels that way. And that is not an easy thing for instance, a young man, even who's graduated from victimhood, to I can do it on my own. I am master of the universe.
Right.
Yeah.
Trap. I call that the bootstrap trap. It's like, here I am, vice president at 26 years old. I did it all by myself.
Absolutely.
And you're like, fuck no, you did, or pardon me, but that's a big trick, I think, to think that any of the success that you've achieved, you did without help. And I think the gratitude comes from understanding where the help came from, or that there was help. So the thing that I did in 2024 when I was in a life transition, if you will, in relationship, was to literally go to. There's an old American Airlines commercial where a boss is standing in like this work room and he goes, I just talked to our biggest customer today. They're pretty mad at us. So he hands out a bunch of plane tickets and he's going, y'all are going to all the branch, like you're going out there and you're face to facing with these guys and you're going to make this good. So that literally, that commercial motivated me to say, who really cares about me? Who participated? Who were the collaborators in the goodness that has come to me or that I possess? And I identified them, and then I went for all of them. Yeah. And I absolutely said that to them. Yeah. I said, I'm here because you love me.
Yeah.
It was in the context of love. So those relationships, I mean, I know that how much you and Karen care for me. You're right here in town.
Yeah.
But I got a chance to go up and hang out with you in Colorado. It was this year. Was it this year?
It was 25, yeah.
25.
Yeah, summer
which was
25.
Summer. It was so good. But yeah, I went to see Philip in Colorado and my buddy Tom in Milwaukee, and my buddy Pete up in New York, and my buddy Tom, and all the Iona crowd in the Hamptons. And those are tribal connections. And I think that's another element of when you say collaboration. There's some theories about why we behave shitty in large groups. Feels like we can cooperate and we can exist well in small systems. And I think history might prove that out, that tribes were isolated, self-sufficient, never had conflict. They always functioned well. So caring for each other is part of what I would call cooperation. That you're saying.
Absolutely, and
or collaboration.
I think what you described, when you went through a very difficult transition, that is really an important part of what is always available to us.
Yeah.
And you had the wisdom at that stage to move on that, to go toward toward the love, to go toward the caring. And, you can always trust people that love you.
Yes.
I remember, I think this was in the 6th grade, my oldest daughter, who is now 48, she was graduating from elementary school, and there was this clown.
Mm-hmm.
And the clown was acting kind of like the master of ceremonies.
Okay.
And imparting wisdom.
Okay.
Now this clown got serious and simply said, I have 3 things that are very important that I want to share with you. And the kids were all really enthralled because it'd been very funny and had all of their attention. And so this clown goes, the first thing is that you must always have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
You must have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing is that you must keep your eyes on the road.
Mm.
Never take your eyes off the road.
Mm.
And lastly, and most importantly, listen to the people that love you. And
That's awesome.
I have said that to every to the 3 girls, my 3 daughters, and to all 7 of my grandkids. And
aren't they lucky?
And one of them's not old enough to have any idea what I'm talking about, but it doesn't matter. And I think that clown really had some fabulous advice. That the hardest one, I think, when we are in that stage 2 of maturity.
Yeah.
When we think we are the master of our universe.
Yes.
Is to listen to the people that love you.
Right.
Because, we're getting feedback all the time. And like right now, you and I are talking about this stuff out of love.
Yes.
For this, whatever this audience is like, we're not doing it so that something good happens in the way of remuneration.
Correct.
I mean, there's you guys aren't making a ton of money off any of this, right?
No. We've learned that you're a celebrity. You have to be a celebrity first to make money at podcasting. You don't become a celebrity
by podcasting.
No.
Near impossible. Yeah.
This is all based on some kind of altruistic drive that's in the 2 of us right now. And
we do know shit when we get older.
We do.
And if we're thoughtful about it and care to share it, if we have an audience, pretty sure we're happy to share it.
Right.
Right. And then if we have a rapport, you've given me a lot to think about, and you've solved some stuff in my brain today. So if there's a purpose here, it's to move my ball forward in understanding the universe. I will contemplate what technology, it's the fire. It warms the hut or it burns it down. You can, both dynamics of it are there. It's what you do with it, right? So it's like technology to me is absolutely doing some amazing, the learning process behind medicine and research and things like that. Technology will prolong and save biological lives and hopefully slow down things like Alzheimer's and things like that for quality of life. And it can tap into the lazy side of us.
Right.
It really can. And I would submit that there's a lot of overweight people that have been watching TV for the last 25 years that aren't, they're in our generation. They may be retired at 50 and they've been sitting on their ass for 25 years. I think it's a human tendency to get a little lazy, as Scott Peck says in Road Less Traveled, Life is Hard. it's like, that's the opening line. Life is hard. And I think what he's trying to say is you can easily be lazy about it. It's overcoming the laziness that we might have that's in us. That's the challenge. But one of the things he also says that I love is that as your body deteriorates, your soul can grow, so that you can achieve more consciousness, more enlightenment, learn more things with your brain as your body. When do we hit the hill? 55, 45? I don't know. But, to your last breath, you have the opportunity to be closer to God, however we're going to call that. Know more, love deeper. I mean, how many really, really rich moments happen at the point of death for families that are meaningful, and that come from some gesture from the person dying. So, as you walk to the light, is that not some element of growth and enlightenment?
Absolutely is.
On the moment of your death, you have the opportunity. So to your point earlier, like, when are you going to get after it? When are you going to wake up? When are you going to realize that there's some work to be done here to make your life, to accept the good or manifest the good that's available? Where would you say the good came from when you said, when I said your answer was after a series of very good things happening to me, was your moment of growth? I mean,
no, after the great hitting obstacles or having,
okay.
I mean, the growth occurs almost always after a very negative experience. We can continue to feed our ego and literally stay in time in the past or the future all the time, and not engage in the flow of our life, which is right here.
Mm-hmm.
The object to me of all of our private lives, not our public lives, but the object of all of our private lives is to live in the flow of our life, which is only achieved in this now moment. Isn't in the past, isn't in the future. It's not that we can live completely in this moment. We do have to plan, and we do have to learn from history. And history is huge. I mean, our personal history and the history that's recorded honestly.
Sure.
About mistakes that we've, as humans, have made. So I would say that being in this moment is literally what each and every private life needs to learn to achieve true enlightenment or consciousness. We literally have to learn that there is nothing other than this moment. And for you and me in this moment, we chose to engage in this conversation, and we're giving our all toward it.
Sure.
And so we're actually listening, not preparing to speak. We're accepting the blessing of, both of our experience. And it's like, I think your experience is fascinating. And I know that I have some experiences that are really helpful for people to chew on for a moment.
Sure.
And so that's kind of why we're doing it. But when I'm trying to remember what your question was that got me to the now.
I don't remember either. Roll the tape back. Hey, Wes, where are we on time there, man? Okay. So, I think part of what you're referring to, and of course, I'm a 12-stepper. That's where I come into spiritual realm through the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, through Al-Anon. And there's a lot of slogans and cliches about why 12 steps and why recovery and why, and it's like, I'll paraphrase and say that all your worries and troubles can be solved, if you were, or by a spiritual nature, in a spiritual realm, or by spiritual means. So without a connection to a higher power, or without some curiosity around God, or whatever you might call God, it's a great place to start if you're struggling.
It is a great start.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of my favorite people is an 83-year-old lawyer who is a brilliant guy, reads all the time. He is the most ethical person that I know.
Mm-hmm.
Ethical and altruistic.
Okay.
Yet he's an atheist. And what I realize is that if your nature is around kindness,
mm-hmm.
and that you deeply care for others, it really doesn't matter about that faith thing,
the lens, if you will, or whatever.
Maybe,
that is.
It doesn't matter if you can overcome your hesitation about accepting that, all of this is by divine design. That it's sort of irrelevant as long as you really care about people,
right?
And you care about yourself. Now, I can say one thing
mm-hmm.
About this individual. He still has a terribly negative worldview.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's one of the things that comes from a deep faith in justice, or a deep faith in the arc of justice.
Yes.
Is that you can accept that ultimately we're still going in the direction of what is good for mankind and for the planet.
Cross our fingers.
We can cross our fingers. But it takes
yes,
that level of optimism,
yes,
doesn't it?
It really does. Today it does. Because the thing that I wrestle with, I said it before, is what is truly our nature. There are times when I believe in original blessing. I want to believe that. And then we go through COVID and we go through all this discourse and separation. And I'm like, are we just like, when pressed, we're just shitty to each other? So
we don't think well when we're highly stressed.
Okay.
I think our that is the weakest point for our prefrontal cortex.
Okay.
It's pretty much the amygdala that is operating when we're truly fearful and when confusion reigns. And so there's a lot of chaos that is fearful creation, or it's a creation of a great deal of fear. And so we're not at our best right now. Got
it. Yeah, no, thanks for that, because that makes me hopeful. I know how I feel. I feel, based on my journey, here I am almost 69 years old, is that I am doing what I was describing. I am rising.
Yes.
Well, my consciousness, I'm burning brighter, whatever we're calling that.
You are luminescent.
I am. The other thing is about showing up in the world is once you kind of let that good in and have that faith that things will roll well, it feels like domination. Because what you do, it's, by the way, it's kind of a fun word that me and my buddy used in Greece when we were on the dance floor. There's, say, 100 Americans and 50 Irish people. It was an Irish-American wedding. And the Irish people know
It was
how
a
to
dry
have
wedding, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was no drinking. No. The Irish people are so fun, and they're so hospitable, and they're so warm, and they're having a great time, and we're on the dance floor, and I look at my buddy Rob, I go, we need to dominate this dance floor. Because the Irish guys, there's half of them, and there's twice as many of us, and they're going to kick our so let's dominate.
That's what Drew says every summer.
I think I might have stolen it from Drew, actually, because he said, Wes, what did he say about going to the pool?
So when we lived together, the pool, we call him Palapa Papa, and he loves the pool, and he would make sure that we go out early, like starting in May, and pick our spots so we can establish our dominance. Was that? So it really did work. We would show up and nobody would be in our spots because they knew that that's Drew and Wes's spot.
And by dominating too, there's an element of collaboration, cooperation, kindness. They're all mixed in there.
Okay.
That it has nothing to do with crushing anybody.
Right.
It has to be elevate ourselves to be our best.
We wanted to be known as the guys who had the good time.
So we're winning.
Yeah, I thought for a second we were going to altered states.
No, we're not crushing anybody. We're just rising above. So, and maybe people will come with us.
Maybe.
They'll just including anybody. We're just trying to raise it all up. So,
well, and if I could just chime in one more, my favorite show, Brockmire, just when you were talking about strangers, he had this line, and it's not to be cynical, but he goes, strangers are just assholes you haven't met yet. So, I'll probably cut that one out, but
no, I mean, it's a good view of how people can approach the world. And, you know, if you grow up in a tough environment, you come in with your dukes up.
Yeah.
Right? You got it. It's a survival. You're talking about that part of your brain and where you live. It's like
the amygdala.
We got to hang there sometimes. We got to hang there sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So how was this for you, Jeff? Hour is really good time, and we can always do this more and again. So
it was what I had hoped it would.
Awesome. Yeah, I want to come sit in next time and kind of pick your brain a little bit too. So
yeah, man. We'll get Karen involved. She's the guru.
I literally thought about all these interesting people that have these very interesting perspectives that would contribute to these kinds of conversations because depending on your age, you know, you can ask some great questions. Like I was thinking that what Wes was just saying is that he has a couple of questions because of some of what we said, and he has some contributions because of some of the stuff we said.
Yeah.
But I do think that I really appreciated some of those questions that you asked. I mean, they were super helpful.
Yeah, and it agreed too. I mean, my phrase, right? Do I get to use it? I'm always better after spending time with Jeff Fritts. Thank you, Jeff.
Okay, so
I'm better.
The next time, hot tub, are we going to do that?
If you can get the mics there, man.
Yeah,
I can.
Careful, man. This electricity thing is dangerous.
Don't worry, I can hang a boom mic over a hot tub.
That's no problem. Thank you, Wes. Thanks for doing this, Wes. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for just coming up here and hanging out.
Second Floor Studio.